okay. Tell me about trigger sessions. Just kidding.
Are we gonna?
Welcome to episode 14.
Everybody.
The best motherfucking podcast on the planet.
You know there's 14 of these?
This is number 14, bro.
Yeah. After this. Hey, you did it. Welcome, everyone. It's magical. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I think we have like
What?
10 subscribers on YouTube, bro.
Nice.
And I think we've gotten like almost, so that's basically like almost one new subscriber every video. Or probably will be that after like six more episodes or something.
There you go.
So as far as I'm concerned, we're making progress.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even account for all the videos or all the listens on Spotify and all of the listens on all the other platforms.
Right.
But I think Spotify is our primary platform, and most of the people that are listening are local.
Nice.
But I think there was like some people in Germany
In Germany, huh?
or somewhere on the Spotify stats. So that's pretty cool. So shout out to the listeners and the viewers.
Thanks, you guys.
We appreciate it
A round of applause.
because we don't know what the hell we're doing. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. We just show up here every week. We write some stuff down and then we just go nuts.
And we just hit record.
Drink a couple beers.
Go from there. Yeah, dude. Nice. So what you been doing this week?
Just Ubering a lot, man.
Yeah.
Just working a lot. Just trying to make money. Trying to stay busy.
Gotcha. Yeah, seriously.
What about you?
I've been derping around with
Derping.
this thing this thing called trigger sessions. So I was on YouTube and I saw, Jeff Cavalier from Athlete X.
Yeah.
Yeah. He put out like this shoulder workout, and it was basically just like a 10-minute workout that you could do with really light dumbbells. And, it's just like a little circuit. So you do 40 seconds of an exercise, 45 seconds of an exercise and 15 seconds off, then 45 seconds of that same exercise. And so you do 2 sets of it, right? And then you have 5 exercises, so it's 10 minutes.
If I'm doing that type of exercise, I usually do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off.
Yeah.
Or 30 and 10. So it's 45 and 15.
Yeah. So you're doing a lot more reps with minimal rest. But, that's not really the important part. So he came out with that, and Mind Pump, they've kind of come out with this idea of trigger sessions, right? And it's that, I've mentioned it once on the podcast, I think, but it's that idea of like, construction workers, how they don't go to the gym, they don't do anything, but their forearms and their shoulders, and they're just like these thick dudes,
Yeah.
And the idea is that they just carry things, and they use their hands, and they're like swinging hammers and doing all this stuff, and they just get their muscles grow because of that, and it's because they're doing this thing, a certain movement, usually over and over and over, for like 40 to 50 hours a day, and it makes the muscle grow. It's not that much of a resistance. It's not that much of like, it's not much of a resistance, but yet it makes their muscles grow. So basically, you're taking that idea. And that's what a trigger session is they take that idea and they make it into a workout. And you do it multiple times throughout the day. And it's not
So it's just lightweight, high reps, or...
It's pretty much. You just go in there, you just kind of get a pump. You're not going for like breaking down the muscles. You're just
going to activate them and
just doing a little bit of putting a little stimulus in, right? So,
Okay.
and you do it like 3-4 times a day.
Okay. So it's like short little
workouts spread out throughout the day.
Got it.
And you're not going to failure. You're not going until you're just drenched in sweat and exhausted. You're just going in there. So this one, you do lateral raises, then you do like a front raise, and then you do another exercise. So like 5 exercises, right? It takes 10 minutes. And I just do it at the lightest weight possible. And, bro, it works like crazy. Like, my posture, so like my upper back and shoulders have just like, I feel like they're just getting way stronger, and just like, I'm way more connected to them, right? And I've only been doing this for like a week, 5 days, you know? And,
so it's a new stimulus.
It's a new stimulus, yeah, and a lot of it.
Yeah.
Right?
So how many times have you been doing this every day?
3 times. 3 or 2 times a day. I think 3, with this particular workout, if you're going to do it 3 times a day, I don't think you should do like this circuit-based thing where it's 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. I think that's a little too much because by the end of the week, my shoulders and stuff were feeling just toasted. Yeah. So, but like I put it out on Instagram. So if you're following me on Instagram, I'm doing updates and stuff on that. But so I'm going to put out, in addition to this podcast, I'm going to put out another video at the end of this week, kind of going, okay, this is what I learned. I'm doing too much. I'm going to bring it back a little bit and maybe only go for 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. And so basically just do 1 set as opposed to 2 sets. So, but.
Well, that's probably a good thing to do during quarantine.
Yes.
But I kind of think that when I do my workout, I just want to get like one really good session in. Right. But like lately, like I would love to right now just be going to the gym and working out for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then hitting the sauna and then taking a shower.
Right.
And then like doing that. But like, you know, we don't have anywhere to do that right now.
Yeah.
So maybe trigger sessions is a good alternative.
It wouldn't be an alternative though. The way you use trigger sessions is on top of what you're already doing. Okay. So the way that I would use it is if somebody's got really forward shoulders, kind of this head forward shoulder, this upper cross syndrome is what they call it. I would use it to bring up kind of their upper back and their shoulders to then pull their shoulders back, right? Yeah. Because the reason that we end up in these distorted posture. So it's good positions
for like posture adjustment.
Posture adjustment, bringing up lagging body parts. So if like for me, I felt like my shoulders were already lagging. Any sort of overhead position was kind of lagging. And because especially with my snatch, I had a hard time really catching that weight and holding it back here at the bottom of my squat. And a lot of that has to do with upper back and shoulders to be able to catch it back there. And so once I've been doing these trigger sessions, I went and did a snatch session, and I didn't miss any lifts because I couldn't get that overhead catch position, right?
You didn't miss any because you couldn't get that?
Yeah, because most of the time you go into the snatch and then the weight, I catch it too far forward because I can't quite get it, back.
And doing trigger sessions helped give you a little more mobility?
Mainly like connection and strength to this overhead position. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it's pretty sick. Like, plus my shoulders and stuff are getting bigger too. That's another way that you could use it. Just put on size. But the way that I'm going to be using it is like if I have a client or myself, I need to, bring up lagging body parts. I think that's going to be the good way to use it. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Well, I haven't really been working out too much at all this week.
Really? Yeah, I get that.
Just been working on some other stuff.
Yeah, going through some, for sure.
Yep.
I get that, man. I get that. So, yeah.
So what else You got some supplements you've been taking?
I haven't been taking any supplements. I've just been getting a lot of like videos that pop up like on YouTube. A lot of these people, they want to talk about how supplements are like the way to go, you know? But like that they're going to somehow make all of the difference in your workout routine.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm skinny. I'm a hard gainer. So if I just take these BCAAs during my workout and then I take this special proprietary blend of, proteins at the end of my workout, poof, it's magically going to make me just gain all this muscle and just become Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Well, I used to work at GNC.
Right.
And I can tell you that the reason a lot of people say that and have a lot of, enthusiasm about supplements and stuff is that they train their employees at GNC to just rave about this shit.
Yes.
And you make commission, so you kind of have to, And, I used to sell this stuff called CLA.
Right.
That like is supposed to target burning fat in your stomach, your butt, and your thighs. Yeah. Like the places where your fat tends to be attracted to first.
Right.
And then there's this other stuff like these thermogenics.
Right.
Stuff that would just like jack people up, dude. Like, I don't know what was in that shit, but it was like crack to some people. Like they just show up asking for a thermogenic, and they put good commission on those items. At least on the new ones that came in. They put them in some fancy box with some cool imagery on it.
Right. And the crazy thing about those thermogenics is they make you feel like, have you ever tried them before?
I don't know. I've never taken one.
They kind of have this like constant, long-term, like just kind of amped feeling that goes along with them. So you're like, oh, I can feel this working, and that's probably why so many people were just like,
that's more than like, that's you're not explaining coffee, like a short burst of energy to get you started in the morning.
No, it's not like caffeine or something like that.
Would you say long-term?
Like amped feeling.
Long-term amped feeling.
Like you just feel like, oh, dude,
I know, dude. Some of the people that take that shit, they're just like, and it helps burn fat or it stimulates your metabolism.
No, it doesn't. They think that it's working. They think that this feeling of like amped feeling is your metabolism working faster. No, it's not. And, it's just marketing. Does
it suppress your appetite?
It might.
I knew this girl that was taking that stuff to suppress her appetite, or like she like tricked herself into thinking she was suppressing her appetite with it, or that it was burning her fat off or something, man. But I don't know. I didn't really believe in that shit, but I just had to sell it. Right. Because I had to make money and it was my job at the time. So.
And I don't have as much of a problem with that as the dude in GNC trying to make his paycheck, because the way that the company is set up, that you make most of your money off of commission from selling these things. The problem is, because right now, a lot of people aren't going into GNC and buying their stuff anymore. They're all going online and doing all this online stuff.
Yeah.
So it's now all companies that are just using like the marketing, like I always say. And they're claiming that this is going to just like tenfold your workouts, and then this is the reason why you're going to be seeing all these results, and this is why. And you could have the worst programming, you could still eat McDonald's every single day, but as long as you're taking my BCAAs with this proprietary blend of protein, that you're going to make sure you're going to be able to see results, which is totally not true. It's not true at all, and it's just the people who find these things and they have a doctorate, right?
A doctorate.
So they're like, sorry, right? What is it? Like they're a doctor. So
okay. Oh
yeah,
doctor.
Degree.
They have a degree.
Right. Okay. So they have this degree, and they're labeled doctor. Right. But they're this just big dude that takes steroids. And he's selling this protein that's now supposed to, that it's going to make all of the difference in your workout. and he's charging a premium thing for it.
Have you seen this happen?
Yeah. I just posted on my Facebook page a video that's all about this. And yeah, and it's just these people that are super smart, and they know without a shadow of a doubt that what they're saying isn't true, but they're still spouting all this marketing BS, you know, and then people come along and they buy these things and they think that this is what's going to, you know, get them to their goals, you know? So it's just frustrating, you know, and I just wish people that would come out and say, like those people, they should come out and they should say that this, okay, yeah, if you have good programming and your diet is good.
And you're taking steroids.
And you're taking steroids, you'll look like me, you know? Because, yeah. So, I don't know. It's just frustrating to me. But
yeah, dude, I used to take a ton of that shit.
Exactly. I spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I wanted to be 200 pounds. I would get... I got a discount because I was an employee there. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I would take the shit off the clearance rack.
Right.
And I would like, you know, me and my buddy that was working there with me at the time, we like would wait for stuff to go to, like once it goes within 10 days of its expiration date.
Oh, okay.
It goes on to clearance, right? Or it goes on to another shelf that like takes a third off the price. And then we get like another 20% off or something for being, I think it might have been more than 20%, but I don't remember exactly what the percentage was. But we get a discount on it and then we get half off because it was on the clearance. And so we'd know like if this stuff was 3 days away from going onto the clearance rack, we like wouldn't sell it to the customer. We wouldn't like encourage them.
Right. You try to sell it as hard.
Yeah, we just try to sell the other stuff. And so that gave us a really good advantage to be able to get a bunch of great supplements, you know, for a good price. Because some of that stuff, you know, if you're working out really hard, you got a good program going, and you're consistent and disciplined and stuff, then that stuff's going to help you out a little bit, right? Taking a little bit of creatine and drinking a lot of water, like that can help give you a little bit more of like a polished look.
Creatine is like the most like studied and proven out of all the supplements. So if you're going to go with a supplement, creatine's the way to go.
That's so funny because I just like picked that one at a random. I didn't even. Yeah,
like this says how much that it's been proven to work. Is that they're even starting to I don't know if they're actually doing this anymore, but they might be taking it out of the Olympics because it's going to be classified as like a performance enhancing drug because it works so well.
But it doesn't. Like it helps your muscles retain water, right?
It helps your muscles retain water. It increases your strength and increases muscle growth.
Strength and muscle growth?
Yeah. So if there is ever a supplement out there and your programming is already on point and your diet is on point, then adding creatine is really, really, really could be potentially really beneficial, that word, for you, right? And especially if you're like a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
Because it's creatine in its natural form comes from red meat.
Okay.
The easiest place to get is from red meat. So.
Well, then a vegetarian probably wouldn't want to eat it, right?
No, you can get plant-based creatine.
Plant-based creatine.
I'm pretty sure. Yes.
And that works the same way?
Mm-hmm. It's just really, really hard to get in its natural source.
Dude, I can't wait for the gym to open again.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Like,
I just want to go bench press. We should work out.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. So, if you're gonna, I would just say that if you're gonna get a supplement and you haven't already, if you're gonna get a supplement, don't spend your money on BCAAs first. Get a good creatine first.
Get a good creatine before you get a good BCAA.
Yeah.
Branched chain amino acid, right?
Branched chain amino acid, yep.
And those are like concentrated protein?
It's individual, like, I guess you could say pre-digested chains, right? So they're broken down chains of amino acids. They're not, because if you break down a protein, you get amino acid.
How do like in your stomach?
Yeah, your body breaks it down, right, in your stomach. So that's the idea behind a BCAA, is it's already broken down and supposedly easier for you to digest. and therefore going to increase your muscle gains, right? Skips a step, yeah.
Okay.
So
BCAAs is broken down protein,
yes.
and creatine helps your muscles retain water.
Creatine is a protein.
Creatine is another type of broken down protein.
Can you Google that for sure? I want to make sure that I'm right on that.
I just want to work out, dude. I've been working out with these stupid little bands. And like, I know if you take those supplements, like it's not going to do much for you unless you're working out really, really hard. You know,
The supplements?
yeah.
Especially if your diet sucks, then just adding a supplement on there isn't going to magically make you.
So what are some good vitamins that people should take? And because like there are some pills you can take daily that are good for you, right? Like I have some gummy vitamins.
Yes.
That I take.
Yeah.
Like one's a multivitamin. One's like biotin, which is good for your hair, skin, and nails, right?
So real quick, creatine is a substance that is found naturally in muscle cells, and it helps muscles produce energy during heavy lifting and high intensity exercises. So yeah, it's not a protein. It's something found in your muscles.
It's like a mineral type man-made supplement.
What's made out of protein.
Yeah, I think that it's what your body create. Yeah, so it
shares many similarities with amino acids.
Yeah.
Your body can produce it from the amino acids, glycine and arginine.
Right.
See, those were other supplements that were like in pill form and powder form too.
Yeah.
That we sold at GNC.
Right.
That I learned about. And those are you know.
Those are amino acids.
Yeah.
Basically, they're one chain in the
Creatine's even further down the process.
Yeah. So your body uses amino acids to create creatine.
Dope.
In the muscle. So yeah, there you go. Perfect. Sweet.
So are you ever going to get a line of supplement? Are you ever going to have a supplement that you're selling?
Probably not. Because I think that you should be, your question earlier about is there good vitamins and stuff that people should be taking?
Yeah.
Like we should be taking vitamin D supplement for sure because we don't get enough sun.
Well, in the Northwest, yeah.
In the Northwest. So that would be a good...
But for our listeners in Germany...
yeah, exactly. So that's where it kind of becomes individualized. You should definitely like look into your diet and figure out, what are you deficient in, right? Because if you already have plenty of vitamin D and then you take vitamin D on top of it.
So like fish oil would be a good option too because a lot of people don't eat a lot of fish.
Yeah, trying to get those healthy fats. A lot of people don't have a big intake in fat, especially with the fish oils. Yeah.
So the stuff that's healthy in fish oil can also come from fat, right?
Because that's what fish oil is. It's just little capsules of fish fat, right?
Yeah.
So and all the fat that comes from like meat is different than the fat that comes from fish. So and the oil in the fish is really good for the brain.
Brain?
Yeah, the omega-3s.
Yeah, and also for your hair, skin, and nails too, right?
Right. Yeah. So
or maybe that's biotin. Biotin is another supplement.
Yeah. I don't look into a lot of these supplements because I don't believe in them. So yeah. Biotin is a water-soluble vitamin that is part of the vitamin B family. Hair, skin, and nails. Yeah, you're right. So that's kind of my take on supplements is find out what you're deficient in and then start to take vitamins and minerals and stuff to figure out. Look at your diet first. Like it could be part of your diet. Like, oh, you're not getting enough fiber in your diet, So then you don't need to go out and supplement with it. Just notice that,
you could go get some bars.
I could get some bars. Yeah, I could, find out. Just Google is amazing. Just Google high protein, high fiber foods.
Yeah.
And then boom, it'll give you a whole bunch. So that's the problem is the supplement industry makes it like, this is how you're supposed to get it. This is what you need to buy my product so that you can get over your deficiency. But when it's in all reality, if you just added 2 meals throughout the entire week with with that certain deficiency that you have, it's going to be enough as it is. Cool. And it's going to be way cheaper. So, so just being careful, try to figure out what you need. Just because the ad says you need it doesn't mean you need it.
It's funny, when I was working at GNC, I was also working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I was also working at the Grotto, which was like this Christmas event in Portland.
Right.
And I was a music coordinator there. And that was really fun. I got to kind of help the choirs get ready and stuff for their performances. And I had a radio on my ear and stuff with the curly cord, like a
Secret Service agent.
Yeah. So that was only like a temporary gig, but I was also working at McDonald's and GNC. So I had 3 jobs. And they transferred me around to a couple different GNCs. So like the first one I worked at was in Jansen Beach. The next one I worked at was in Battleground. And then I think I worked at one in Vancouver at one point. Excuse me. Maybe not, but yeah, dude.
Yes.
I would wake up and go to McDonald's, get there at like 7:30. And then I would have like 2 sausage burritos, a sausage McMuffin. It's so much food, dude. Like $10 worth of food. And I would have it before my shift.
Yeah.
And that was my breakfast. And I'd have my coffee. Or sometimes I'd have it on my first 10-minute break. Because I had 2 10-minute breaks and a half-hour break on my 8-hour shifts.
Gotcha.
So I'd take my first 10 and get my breakfast. And then I'll go back to work. And I'll take my half around like noon. Right? And then I would smoke a cigarette. And I would also smoke a cigarette on the way to work.
Okay.
In the morning, first thing. Nothing in my system at all. Just boom, cigarette. And then after I take my lunch around noon, I smoke another cigarette, eat my lunch, go back to work. Then take another 10 at some point, smoke another cigarette, and leave. And then I'll go to GNC from there. And at some point, I'd pack a lunch because GNC was in Battleground. Or I'm sorry, yeah. GNC was in Battleground. And on my way up there, I'd stop at, mom and dad's house in Ridgefield.
Right.
McDonald's was in Hazeldale.
Right.
So I'm coming up north. I would pack a lunch, go to GNC, work from like 4 till like, I think 8 p.m. was when that place closed.
Okay.
Or 10. And I think it depended what day it was. I think it closed earlier on the weekends. But then I'd have my lunch there, whether it was just like rice and chicken or a sandwich from Subway or like what are some other things? I would throw like bacon and eggs and make like this skillet mixture in a bowl.
I remember those,
or whatever with like cheese and stuff. And then I'd go up there and work there. And then I'd go, to the Grotto if someone else was closing for me at GNC. Those were the nights that I worked at the Grotto to fill in those last few hours of my day. And I'd work till 10:30 to 11 there. And come home at fucking midnight. And it's because I was doing this other worldwide.
Right.
This other business adventure that we were on. And it took a lot of money to fund that. And so I was working 3 jobs to try to fund that. It was like the only way I knew how to do it at that time. But when I just decided I'm too young for this shit and I'm burning out, that was when I quit doing that And I went back to like one job. I was still living with mom and dad. They had like found out I was smoking cigarettes, and like they were like, you know, you can't do that here, and you got to wait till you move out and stuff. I can't remember what job I went to after all that, but
I thought you were at McDonald's for.
I was at McDonald's for a while.
Yeah. Did you go?
Yeah, I left GNC.
Yeah.
I left GNC to keep working at McDonald's, and because it was just an easy job to maintain.
Right.
And then my girlfriend had broken up with me at that time, and
so we did Advance.
Yeah, went to Advance. Yeah, I went to Advance after that.
Yeah.
No, never.
I was just pro fence.
Yeah, I never did fencing. I just did lighting, but Devin got into fencing.
Yep.
And I started DJing around that time.
Yeah, that's right.
I think.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy because like you would be considered the hard gainer is what they call it. So
hard to gain muscle.
Yeah, just hard to gain muscle. You get to eat crazy amounts of calories to put any sort of like, you know, body weight on, whether that be fat or muscle.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're just naturally thin and don't carry around a lot of excess body fat, you know? And so you have to just eat like crazy to try to get that up, you know? So
yeah, anything I can eat, dude. And I forgot to mention, like on the days that I didn't go to the grotto, I would go to the gym.
Right.
After work. Or I would go to the gym in between McDonald's and GNC if I got off early.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff, man.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But, you know, I started working with Dave doing the DJ thing. And then not shortly after that, I DJ'd for like 5 years. And I was working in Advance and doing the DJ thing.
Yep.
And working in Advance and doing the DJ thing. And decided Advance was too much after a while and wanted to put more time in DJing. So left Advance, left my full-time job after like 3 years of working there.
Mm-hmm.
And took this job at Applebee's and started doing Uber Eats.
Right.
And then my car broke down. That was shitty.
Yeah.
Man. And I think by that time, I think mom and dad helped me out to get that repaired.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was juggling between Uber Eats with a broken down car, taking the bus to Applebee's, and doing the DJ thing. And then pretty soon, Dave asked me to come work on some stuff at Bent Beat because he had heard the music I was putting out.
Right.
And I remembered I put a request in for time off at Applebee's to go to Paradiso.
Right.
And they told me that they'd give me the time off, and they didn't give it to me.
They just didn't.
And I was like, fuck this, man. Like,
I'm out. Yeah.
And so I don't think I came back to work after that. I think I just started doing more Uber and just started trying to learn this software at the studio because I'd done some producing at home and stuff.
Right.
And, you know, I knew a little bit about production, but, you know, it's always just been a juggle, man, between jobs.
Yeah.
And between living spaces and trying to find a place where I can live and make music and make noise and, you know, trying to find a job that has a flexible schedule so that I can get things covered so I can do gigs and stuff. And, you know, every musician that tells their story will tell a story similar to that. They'll say that it's hard.
Yep.
And everybody who works a job tells you that too. Well, starting your own business is quite a journey, and the music industry is hard, and they do lots of drugs, and you're probably gonna fall off the wagon with your, you know, morals and blah blah blah. And you know what? Like none of those are reasons not to do something. None of those are an excuse to just fucking be a number in the system, you know, and just work 9 to 5 every day and not do and pretend like you have enough money to pay your bills. Like,
I mean, there are plenty of good ways to do that. I mean, you can go in and you can work for a really good company that's going to pay you well, and you can move up the ladder, and you can just be a number, if that's what you want to call it. But you can actually you can get somewhere and actually create a really good life for yourself. But you don't. Those are the people that are going to tell you to just stick with the system. So if you want to do something, that's dangerous. Then if you want to do something on your own and you want to be your own boss, and go start your own company or your business or whatever, then don't let those other people who don't have that ambition tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, but don't look down on them.
Yeah, but then don't look down on them for wanting to just stay because they're doing really well for themselves.
Maybe. Some of them are.
Yeah.
But some of them are just straight lying to themselves. Dude.
Yeah, some people do that. Yeah, some people will just straight up lie to themselves and just stay in their bad situation over and over and over again. And they're like 45 years old, working a job that they hate.
Yeah, but I think another big part of it is just that the expectation that we're held to as Americans with the expensive housing and groceries and just the whole system of money and the way and our credit and the way it works, like in the economy. Because of all that, it's hard to be in America. It's hard to live. It's hard to just make enough money to live a normal life. And so I think to live your life trying to live up to the government standards by how much money you should have and how good of an education you should have and all that stuff, I just, you're not going to find too much happiness trying to place your self-worth in the hands of the government by trying to live up to that standard the whole time. And I think you have to, I say this every fucking episode, but I just think you have to meditate and find happiness that way and figure out who you are and your tendencies and try to be the best person you can.
Right.
And be happy with what you do and who you are.
Well, that's where it goes askew, is when you start putting your self-worth in somebody else. Right? Where now all of a sudden, because I'm making X amount of money, because I have this job, because whatever, that makes me a good person. That's what gives me worth in this world.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's where it goes away. It's not because of somebody else. It's not because this person has trapped you in this certain situation. It's because you have put your self-worth on this other person. And and you're looking to them as there's where you draw worth from.
Yeah. It could be for somebody who thinks that way, it could be the government, or it could also be like your friends. And, because some people are only willing to hang out with people who drive Ferraris and live in a gated community, and those people you'd never catch those people talking to a homeless person on a curb,
Right.
And I think there's a certain type of status that people want to maintain, and in the culture of society today. And I think the whole system of money has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Because the more money you have, the more things you have, the more status you have. So maybe the harder you work, or maybe how hard you work is where you gain your self-image from, or maybe how little you have to work to gain what you have is where you gain your self-worth from, or something. But
yeah,
that's what I'm saying, is it doesn't come from there. It comes from meditating. It comes from something deeper within. You have to find your happiness from there rather than trying to place it, like you said, in the hands of the government.
So just basically what you're trying to say is find who you are. What do you believe? And what are your morals? What are your beliefs? And then base your self-worth off of that?
I think just being at peace with who you are you know, before all of that. Before, like for me, like I find a lot of my self-worth in like my work with my music and the things. Like I get a rush when somebody tells me, oh, that's a cool song, or you know, a crowd claps for me or something.
Right.
And, you know, I think I have to love myself regardless of all that. And
so if people aren't clapping for you and all that stuff, you still gotta love yourself, is that what you're saying?
so I'm not doing the music for that.
Okay.
So I'm doing the music for fun because I love it and because I enjoy it.
Right.
Because the people aren't always going to be there to clap for me. And there's a lot of fucking haters out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, you know, people who have large fan bases talk about it all the time. Like, you just can't please everybody. There's always somebody who hates you for no reason. And it's just like, what the hell, man? Like,
Yeah,
what are you going to do about that?
for sure.
At the end of the day, you just have to be satisfied with your content or whatever you do. And that just has to be enough for you. You have to just have fun with it
Yeah.
and be happy. You know, I think that's where happiness comes from. I think it's a little deeper than that. It's probably a little more complicated.
Yeah,
It's hard to sum it up on a 20-minute segment of a podcast, but
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the human struggle, is trying to find happiness. And I don't think really anybody knows. And it's kind of an individualized journey,
yeah.
you know, because what makes you happy isn't going to be what makes me happy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm feeling like, I don't know, I think I'm a little dehydrated today.
Alcohol.
Yeah, I drank a lot of beer too
Yeah.
and smoked some weed. What's the time at? Are we at a half hour?
42 minutes.
40. Damn. All right, well, yeah, let's go into fitness, man.
Let's do it.
Talk about some music shit next week.
Okay. Sounds good.
But first, I'll play this beat.
Do it.
This
Nice.
one's called Underlay.
Underlay.
It's part of my Crazy 8 package. It's 8 hip-hop beats that I made and mixed and mastered myself and just put them out there. I swear, if a rapper just took all 8 of those beats, just put them on an EP, it'd be the dopest fucking EP ever. But
Nice. So, bro, how's your diet going?
diet, well, I've been doing my favorite form of fasting.
Favorite form of fasting?
Yeah,
huh?
dude. You want to know what that is?
Do I?
It's fast fooding.
Okay. Getting a lot of fast food, huh?
Yeah, dude. Kind of on doing like the Whole Foods thing.
Yeah. Whole chickens.
Yeah,
and-
whole chickens,
Yeah.
whole burgers,
Yeah, dude.
whole pizzas, whole boxes of chicken nuggets,
Yeah.
whole footlong sandwiches from Subway.
There you go. Fit this.
I went to, let's see, what was that place called? I went to Big Reds with
Big Reds.
Atomic Age Renegades, and we had like I had 3 beers and a burger or a Philly cheesesteak. That's what I had from there.
Nice.
I had Wendy's the other day. I had all kinds of shit. All kinds of terrible food, man.
It's a little bit off the wagon, huh?
Yep.
Well,
Pretty depressing.
and look, he's honest with himself, bro. I think the biggest takeaway from that is that so many people try to like dress up their diet. You know, like, oh, I eat pretty good. You know, like I had a salad the other day, you know, but it was like in between 2 buns with a piece of meat in it. You know, It's
You mean
actually
a burger?
You mean a burger? Yeah. I mean, there was
Jesus
lettuce and there
Christ.
was tomato in there. So it's a lettuce and tomato salad.
Got the combo pizza.
Got the combo
Yeah,
pizza
dude,
with the.
because they're not self-aware.
Yeah, I mean, they're not self-aware,
self-aware.
or they don't want to be honest with themselves. They'd rather look good than actually be good.
Dude, that is another thing I had in mind that I almost wrote down this week that I forgot.
Oh yeah,
Is people who want to look good, but they don't want to be good.
right.
They don't fucking care how good their workout program is.
Yeah.
They just care how good their Instagram photo stream looks.
I bet you get that all the time where people come in and they just want to talk about all of the projects and the people that they know and all these things that they're thinking about doing and are going to do as soon as they get this.
Yeah.
And then they don't actually do that.
That's a musician's life, dude. Just faking it till you make it.
Right. But they don't actually they don't actually act on any of those things. They just talk about it.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know.
So,
About 80% of them.
yeah.
Every 10 artists that we meet with, you know, we're probably going to sign maybe one of them. 2 of them are going to like be a good like investment of our time.
Right.
And the other 8 are just going to go fuck off.
Right. So a lot of people do that with their diets too. They just come in and they talk about how good their diet is and all these things that they've done, but they didn't actually wrote anything down. They didn't actually track their things, so they're actually they're underreporting and overeating, you know. But if you're just completely honest with yourself and you're like, "Fuck, I screwed up,"
Yeah, then you have a starting point.
yeah, and you can actually improve from there, and then your trainer or your nutritionalist or whoever you're working with can actually work with you. Because if you come up to me and said, "Yeah, dude, that was great, but you had 3 beers and you had all the fast food and everything, but you told me that it was great," there's no way I can help you.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. It's like your counselor too. Mm-hmm. You go see your counselor and you tell him, I'm doing really good. You know, I'm doing really, or your guitar teacher,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. I've been practicing all these scales, man.
No, you haven't.
You done nothing.
You haven't done shit.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Right. So
If at some point, you know, you're going to get honest with yourself. And if you've been paying $100 a month for somebody to help you and you've been lying to them for 6 months, then
they can't help you.
you've got some money invested here.
Yep.
So it's that point of realization, you're going to come to that quicker if you're honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, being honest with that other person
Yep.
is you know, you have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with that person.
Right.
And so, you know, if you really want to change and you really want to make things happen quickly, then you have to put that in the hands of somebody else to help you get there.
Plus, if you're honest with yourself, even yourself, then that will help spur change a little bit. But if you're constantly just like deceiving yourself,
Yeah.
and you think you're in a good place, and there's nothing that's going to be pushing you forward and motivating you to move forward, so it's not really a good place to be.
Yeah.
So good job with that. Being honest with yourself, man.
Cool, man. Should we play another song? I had 2 of them.
Yeah,
ready.
go ahead.
I want you to rap over this one, Devin.
Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. What? That's to the extent of my rapping.
That was great.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you. Be here all
Profound.
week.
Inspiring.
There you go.
Wow, man. Great job.
Thanks.
I'm impressed. You're hired.
Yes.
You're going to be a session rapper at Bent Beat.
So the main topic I want to talk about this time, and we talked a little bit about it last time or earlier in the show, but I've been looking at a lot of these videos, and there's a lot of like polarizing sides to fitness, right? And there's the people who say 8 to 12 reps is the way to go. Some people say, oh no, you got to do the 15 to 20 rep range, and that's the best way to go. and then, oh no, you got to eat this certain diet, or you have to do this certain specific thing. And look at this study. And if we train at the specific time, it's going to, set us up for the best part. And if we time our meals perfectly, and then we introduce this supplement, and then we take this supplement away, and then it's just so complicated. Exactly. It's so complicated. And people get heated about this stuff too. They come out with a new study comes out that says, hey, this is the way that we should work out. This is the rep range that, and then they're throwing all these studies back and forth. And then then for the just average viewer viewing these things and listening to people spout out all these huge words about, periodization and, or some of the big words. I can't think of any of the big words that they're talking about right now, but it just kind of goes right over their head,
Any of the supplements, creatine, biotin.
Yeah, just throwing all of these big words like amino acids and base chain amino acids and biotin and biohacking and all this stuff, and it's just like
biohacking.
Yeah, that's
one I've seen. What does that mean?
It means that you're hacking the body to Google biohacking. What comes up? It's also known as DIY biology. What? Yeah, it's not very specific, but in the
DIY biology. That sounds wild, dude.
That's interesting. But the main thing that they use it for, in fitness, is for hacking it so that you're going to be able to lose the optimal amount of, I'm going to hack into my body's DNA and make it so my body wants to get rid of all of this extra fat, right? So hacking the body and tricking it into making it so you look like this ripped dude here.
Well, before you went to that fitness article, I just saw pumping a younger person's blood into your veins.
What?
If you go back and scroll up there, it says a biohacker is somebody who uses science and technology to make his or her body function better and more efficiently. Biohacking aims to improve our overall well-being by optimizing nutrition, sleep, mind, heart, gut, fitness, any other lifestyle. Oh,
where did that? Anyways, basically, it's
this morning I was reading an article about these guys pumping teenagers' blood into their veins.
Yeah.
Stem cell.
Like blood transplants.
Yeah, transfusion, I think is the word.
Transfusion. Yeah, there's the blood
That's
transplant,
fucking
where
scary.
when you take your blood and put somebody else's blood in you, right? So now you're running off of somebody else's blood.
That's crazy.
So it's a complete transfusion of your blood. You don't have any more of yours in it.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a scientist. But yeah, it's this idea of, we kind of live in this age of biohacking, right? And that's a big thing that people are trying to do. And it gets so nuanced and so incredibly just complicated, And it's really, we've got to try to look at the basics, right? If we can just look at, what are we doing on a day-to-day basis? Is that helping us get further to our goal, or is it not, right? Are we gaining muscle, or are we losing fat? Are we getting stronger? Are we getting faster? And if we are, that's what's working. And as the moment we stop seeing those things happen, then we have to start looking at some other things, right? But there's this idea that with all this different science coming out and all these studies and all these YouTube influencers and all these people trying to sell something online, they've kind of muddied the water a little bit, I feel like, and just kind of made it way more complicated than it actually has to be.
Well, do you think maybe we're evolving to a certain extent, and we're finding out that maybe just sleeping 8 hours during the dark part of the day and, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe there's other ways to live your life that, I don't know, maybe there's just more, maybe people are just changing. Because I know a lot of people are they don't want to listen to their personal trainer, and they don't want to eat how they know they should. They just want to keep getting their, McDonald's at the end of the day and skipping breakfast and lunch and not eating anything else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or having their Starbucks.
So you think that we're changing, so then therefore maybe these things that the scientists and maybe we are getting more complicated? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I'm thinking maybe we're getting more complicated because people are changing the way that they eat and they don't want to pack a lunch to bring with them to work. They want to spend their lunch doing something else, and they want to, people make excuses on why they don't want to eat normally.
I think the main thing that is a valid point, that people do make that this whole idea of fitness more complicated. The thing that everybody is so different that it is complicated, and there is a level of like complexity to the human body and things that we don't quite understand 100% the human body. We're still figuring some things out.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a thing. But the thing that I'm talking about is that we need to always be like training in this specific rep range, and that this is what get us to our goals and stuff, right?
Sure.
Because I was just watching this video, and these people are just throwing out crazy, complicated words constantly, and saying that there's like specific times where like, oh, so today I'm going to be doing my heavy session, so I went and I put more carbohydrates into my diet, so that I can have more readily available energy sources at this moment. So when I go in and do my heavy sessions, that I'm gonna be able to, tap into that so that I can lift more.
No,
and then
you didn't. You just wanted a donut after work.
Yeah, exactly. And then that tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and do my fasted cardio, so I got to make sure that I eat an apple before I go to bed so that I have that energy source as I go to sleep. So then tomorrow I can wake up and I can do this high intensity interval training, to burn off excess calories that I had yesterday, right? So then I'm not going to eat this morning. So therefore I'm telling my body to use the leftover storage that I didn't tap into yesterday so that I can work out. And then I'm going to do this specific workout so that I can burn off the belly fat. And that's really, 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 really complicated. And then the majority of the people listening to that, they don't have, like, the dude spouting out this information looks great. He's he's really toned and ripped and everything, and he looks great. And he obviously knows what works for his body.
Yeah.
But he's also a fitness influencer who just 24 hours a day, that's all they can focus on, is them and their fitness and how they look and their physique, right? And he can maybe then, have a little bit more time to focus on those things. But the average person still has to get their kids ready in the morning.
Yeah.
They have to go to work, and then they have to come home, and then they have to pay taxes, and they have to do all these other things, and they don't have 24 hours a day to focus on their fitness, right?
Yeah.
So then now you're like, oh, I'm going to get in shape, and you Google best way to get in shape, and this dude pops up. I mean, you're going to quit.
Yeah.
So just know that it doesn't take a whole lot to actually start moving towards your goal, right?
Yeah.
If you, I just recently picked up a new client who all we had to do was just go, okay, eat more, and 2 times a week, we're going to introduce a muscle building stimulus. Bam! Started gaining all this weight. His pants don't fit anymore because he's getting big. He's filling out his shirts. He's starting to see results.
Yeah.
And all we did was 2 different things, right? And now we're tracking those things. Okay, are they still working? Yes, they're still working. Okay, we can keep going forward. Let's keep moving forward. Okay. Oh, you stopped seeing results. Okay, let's figure out. Let's change some things up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're seeing results again. Good. Go. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Keep doing that, right? And it's not like, okay, I need you to start walking 30 minutes every single day, 3 times a week, and make sure before you go on your walk, you eat 2.5 strawberries, right? So that you have a little bit of energy. And make sure that your heart rate, be watching your heart rate, make sure it doesn't get over a certain rate, right?
You don't have to break it down that far.
It doesn't have to be that crazy. It doesn't have to be that ridiculous,
You just got to have just got to have discipline. You got to find something that you just got to keep
Yep.
doing something every day.
Yep. Exactly.
Or as many days as you want every week. You know?
Yeah, because I find that so many people, they've tried a few different times and they haven't quite gotten to their goals, and that can be very, very discouraging. And that first little bit is very crucial. That first like week to a month of you just starting to work out, especially if you've tried before and haven't reached your goals, haven't seen results, right? And if you go online and you see these things, that could be enough to just make you bounce.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really detrimental. And I just want the people to know that it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be just, you know.
Believe in yourself.
You must believe. No, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be just like this incredibly life-altering, changing thing. It can be very simple. There can be a few things that you just keep adding in every once in a while. And that's enough to see results. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, here's what you got to do. So if you're following us on Facebook and Instagram, you're going to find us at Pod Heaven, Austin and Devin. On Twitter, Pod Heaven AD. Make sure you go follow us there.
It's just Pod Heaven, Austin, Devin.
Is that not what I said? Did I say and?
For Facebook and Instagram. No and.
Okay. Pod Heaven, Austin, Devin. That's it for Instagram and Facebook. And then Twitter is Pod Heaven AD. And then YouTube is also Pod Heaven, Austin, Devin. Yeah. So go find us there. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. We're going to be putting out a lot of extra content throughout the week. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, you guys. And we'll see you next week. Here we go.
Go ahead and stop that.